Connect Podcast. Let's connect.
So Dino, what's good, man?
What's going on, my boys? It's been a long time since we linked up, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, it's been a long time, and I'm very excited about this interview, bro, because like I said, I've said this multiple times. When I started this podcast, I really didn't know the direction that I was heading into, but it kind of like landed where like so many music artists were reaching out that, you know, I was able now to be like, all right, we got so much history in Syracuse.
We do. That's not even told.
Right. And I feel like we can't tell that story without talking about Dynasty Beats.
Shit, bro. I appreciate that. That honors me for real. But nah, like that. There's a lot of history in Syracuse that a lot of people don't realize. That I feel like the young kids nowadays today are just kind of like skipping over because they don't really. It's not really talked about. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
when I was younger, when I first started making music in Syracuse, you know, it was like you heard of the people that were before you, at least doing things or at least like doing shows or making music, and they might have not have been like national level work, but like at least they were doing something in the town and they were creating a name beyond the town. You know, there are people that could go to Utica, Buffalo, Albany back in the early 2000s and have a name for themselves, you know, and I got lucky to be able to work with those people, man. Like some of those people, not all of them, you know, but I at least paid my respects to those that were before me.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I'll mention those later because I know we definitely want to go into that huge section right there because, like, that's a long section of people. But like to mention a couple real quick, like if you're mentioning Syracuse hip hop, Syracuse music, you gotta mention Seth Marcel.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta mention Taj Mahal. You got to mention Thump Mendoza, of course, rest in peace. You gotta mention the Senate. You gotta mention J5. You gotta mention Felony Set. You gotta mention. Exactly what I was about to say. Ivan the Great. You got to mention, like, there's so many of them. And it's like, World Be Free is one person that, like, he's been putting on for the city for so long. Like, he's been literally going to get industry features. Outside of Taj, like, he was pretty much the only person I knew in the beginning. Like, damn, you got a song with this person? Oh, then got a song with Tory Lanez in Jamaica. Right. Like, bro, he's really doing it like that. Like, that's what I respect. And, like, back when I was first coming up, you know, I grew up in Syracuse, you know, born and raised here. Grew up very poor, you know, lived on the west side, lived on the east side, you know, I lived on Richmond Street, and then I moved off of Richmond Street to Nelson Street, and I moved from Nelson Street to East Fayette, then to Westcott, then like I moved all over Syracuse, but I lived on mainly the west side and the east side. And for me, it was like growing up, you'd always hear music and like local music, especially when I got to the east side, like when I was in middle school. I remember, shout out to Kai Pringle, man. Like, I remember Kai Pringle and his brothers, they went to a studio and, like, were recording. And, like, this is 8th grade. Like, I was only playing drums. I started playing drums at 6. You feel me? Like, it wasn't like I was already getting into rap or anything. I was playing drums. I was playing in, like, rock bands with my friends and stuff or church. And when I got to middle school, you know, we were always beating on the desk in school. But, like, I finally got around people that would, like, really rap. Like, we were at Fraser. Some kids would rap there. But, like, when I went to Levy, they started having battles where they would go to the studio and they would come to the school with CDs and they would play the CD. And it was an English class. So the English teacher was like, okay, well, you know, it's a form of English writing, you know, it's art and it's also English. So let's hear it. So she actually let them play it. And it was funny as hell. But, like, that was, like, you know, me remembering back then, like, that was done at Rollick Studios. They went to Rollick Studios, I believe, to go record their songs, you know, and that was, like, before I even started recording. I remember driving down North Line and seeing recording studio, not knowing that was the Senate studio, you know, not knowing that across the street was Red Brick Studios. Right. But people don't realize that when you're driving down North Salina Street, there's on the corner of, I forget the name of the street, but it's North. It's right where Infinite Clip used to be. Okay. Where that laundromat is on North Salina, and what is the Biscotti's. Okay, you know where Biscotti's is?
I do.
Okay, so if you go up the block a little bit towards the mall, that brick building on the corner right there, after you cross the street, that used to be Red Brick. That's why it was called Red Brick Studios.
Really?
That's exactly why it was called Red Brick Studios, was because it was started in that building that is orangish red bricks. Okay? Wow. And then I didn't, you know, that was me growing up. I seen those things, you know, but, like, I didn't know any musicians or rappers at that point. But when I got into high school, and I started making beats at 16, started using FL Studio. And it was crazy how I got started making beats, bro. Like, a lot of people don't know the story, but My friend Ben, I was in youth group, and I used to go to youth group all the time to stay out of trouble because I lived on the east side. I lived in the hood, and like I really wasn't. I was a kid that liked to fight. I loved to fight when I was younger. So for me, it was like I always got in trouble with that shit. And my mom was like, "All right, Friday nights, I'm not worrying about you. You're going to youth group." So I was at youth group one night, and my friend Ben, he came and he had the CD. I know you remember CDs.
I remember CDs. Yeah.
But so he had a CD, and he started playing these techno beats. And like I'm talking like da 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 da, like back when like those were like Tiesto and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
I'm like, these aren't no famous songs. Like what are these? He's like, I made these. I'm like, no, you did not. He's like, yes, I did. I promise. He's like, I have this thing called Fruity Loops. It's on my computer at home. I'm like, bro, show me. So after youth group, we went to his house, and he pulls up his computer and he showed me, and I'm like, yo, you really made this? Like what? How? I was like, yo, can you give me a copy of this? And he burnt a copy because he had the cracked version. And this back in 2006, bro. Okay. And I went home. I had the family computer downstairs. So I just went to the computer and installed it on the computer and started trying to make a beat. I could not figure it out. So then I was getting determined. And my friend Doug, I was in high school. My friend Doug, shout out to Doug Sposey. He helped my dream start for real. Like, because I was young. My parents were not rich. My parents were working their jobs to just be able to pay the bills and be able to afford to take care of me. My friend Doug, he had a computer he was doing graphics on, but he just upgraded his computer. So he's like, I'm looking to sell my desktop for like $200. And I was working at McDonald's as a 16-year-old kid. So I saved up my money and I bought that computer from him. And I had that in my room and I started making beats on that computer. And like, I would sit up there, I would get home from school, and I'll literally sit on that computer from the time I got home from school till the time like I had to eat dinner. Then I would go back up and I would start making more beats. And they were trash. They were horrible. I'm talking like whistles and all these weird sounds that don't belong. But I was getting to know the program and like working my way through it. And this is before YouTube, so I couldn't look up how do I use FL Studio on YouTube. There was none of that. There was none of that at all. Even if you Googled it, like FL Studio, here's the website. Like that's all. Right. So for me, it was like I had to literally hands-on learn. And like, mind you, I'm a drummer. I started playing guitar at 12. So I have some musical background, but like using a program is different than hitting a drum and just playing a pattern. You got to learn how to program, record it, set it up into a sequence and all this different stuff. So when I started learning that stuff and picking up on it, I started getting confident. I started bringing like my beats to school and showing my friends on my CDs and stuff. And like, I was like, yo, I made this beat. And then my 10th grade year, I met my friend CJ, and CJ had just came from England. So he had an accent and everything. So he sounded super cool. And he was in football, and everybody was talking about, yo, you heard about this English kid? He's rapping. And I'm like, who? And I finally go to math class, and this kid walks in with a blue hat, and he has it crooked like this. And he just walks in with a backpack, and the teacher's like, sir, you can't have your hat on here. He's like, oh, sorry, ma'am. And I was like, yo, that's the British kid. I was like, oh, yo, I was like, you CJ? He's like, yeah. I was like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, we started talking, and I ended up telling him, like, yeah, bro, I make beats. Now, mind you, I still was trash, but I was like, yo, I make beats. You rap? Let's get together. And like, that's how it really started with me making beats. I didn't ever just make a beat for a beat catalog. I always made beats for him. It was like, I would go to school every Friday with a new CD of like 5 or 6 beats, and I would have names and subjects. So the beat would be like, because that's how I thought it was. Like, I was looking up XXL magazine and all the different magazines that we had out then. There were so many different ones, and I was just looking like the Vibe magazine and different ones that had interviews with producers and artists and stuff, and they were talking about how they were in the studio with this producer and they made this song together. So I'm thinking, like, and I was inspired by Timbaland, I was inspired by Just Blaze, I was inspired by Polo the Don, the real big dogs. And I was like, those guys are in the studio. When you see like any type of like footage of anything, if you luckily got to see footage back then, you've seen them actually in the studio. Yeah. So I was like, man, that's how it's done. That's how it's done. I got to be with the artist. So I started telling CJ, like, here, I'm giving you ideas. These are the subjects I want the beat, like, for you to talk about on the beat, right? And I was actually producing, because I was going to him, not just saying, here's a beat, rap on it. I was saying, here's this beat. It made me think of Life Story, right? So we had a song called Life Story, and he told his story about how he grew up and about how he moved from Syracuse to England when he was a kid, how he moved back here when his mom got diagnosed with cancer, and how just at 16 years old, he had a lot to tell already. And so I was like, man, like, music to me was always about connection. Not ever. I love radio music. I love commercial music. I love that stuff, to be honest with you. I'm one of those people where, just like you, I love commercial music. It's like, it has a certain vibe to it. But then there's also that raw, authentic music that comes from like the abstract music, or the music that really isn't made for commercial use, but it's so good that it's just undeniable. That's what I was trying to create from the start. You know, that was always my goal, is like, I don't want to create songs that are just like, shake it, you know, shake that ass or whatever. I didn't want to do shit like that, because it's like, especially at that time, we had the Soulja Boy. We didn't want to do none of the crank that's. We didn't want to do none of that shit. Like, we didn't want to follow none of those trends. We were not making no crank that.
Right.
So, and that was like literally at the prime of like me making beats. When I started getting okay at making beats, was like Soulja Boy was coming out and all these different like lean with it, rock with it. Like, I have beats that sound like that because I was trying to follow trends and keep up with the sound.
Yeah.
But we weren't making songs like that. We were making songs that felt like us. And so when we're, you know, I would go to school, bro, and I would go to school and have the CD, and at lunch I would hand him the CD. Like, bro, you got until the weekend. Like, you got until the Monday to get these written. On Monday I need to hear at least 1 or 2 songs. So he's gonna rap for me in person when we're in like class, or like when we're walking in the hallways, whatever. Then that Friday, after I get him the CD, we'd go to record at my house. And I would have, bro, the setup. I wish I had a picture of it from back then, bro. That's the one thing I regret, is not taking pictures so much. But I had a rectangle square, or a rectangle hard guitar case, okay, that had my electric guitar in it. And I bought this $500 box that came with like literally speakers that were like this big. It came with a microphone that was like a handheld microphone that you would like perform with.
Yeah.
And it came with like one of those mic clips that just kind of clips into it. And it came with like a little tripod that was like a 3-pronged tripod that you put on your desk, right? And it had like this single interface. It was called a Fast Track. It was by M Audio. And
M Audio, yeah.
Yeah, M Audio. Like, that was my first company. My mom took me to Guitar Center. Shout out to you, Mom. Yeah. She took me to Guitar Center for the first time. She helped me buy my keyboard. I paid for like 70% of it. She just put the rest up. And she was just happy that, you know, I was actually saving my money for things that I was actually wanting. And so I got this M Audio Axiom keyboard. It was a 25-key keyboard. Yep. And then I got the box that came with the speakers, the interface, and it came with also like Ableton, but I didn't end up using that. And so we would record on that. Like, I had it literally set up in my corner. I had like this little cubby hole area in my room, and we would like literally have him sitting in a chair, and he'd be sitting in the corner, like face to the wall. We had like, because I was working at McDonald's, I would get the crate, the drink holders.
Oh yeah,
man. And I literally staple those to my wall.
That's crazy.
And like, we had those. It just looked like if you watch Hustle and Flow, it literally looked like that kind of like, it was just a mic sitting on something that it didn't belong on. And then I eventually had to tape it to the damn thing because the stand broke. So I had to tape it to the guitar case. So we were recording like that at first, and then, you know, finally I learned a little bit more. I ended up trading my microphone, getting a better microphone. But my boy Frat, we ended up reuniting. And my boy Frat was like, yo, bro, I know my boy Smiles works down in Raleigh. And this is when Raleigh was still around. And I'm talking about that more later. Yeah, we can talk about that more.
Raleigh was definitely that spot.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
fact.
That was like an OG spot. But so he was like, yeah, he's down at Raleigh all the time. And with, you know, all these different artists that are down there. And J5, it was what the hell was his name? Q something. I forget the guy's name, but
where at Raleigh?
Yeah.
Remember Hollywood?
Hollywood.
Yeah,
yep.
Hollywood.
And then there was Section Q.
Section Q,
so
yeah.
Section Q
Shout out
the
Section Q. I see him online.
There's
still
a lot
now.
of people that like literally that were going there, and he was
Tall
like,
Bucks.
Tall Bucks was rest in peace. But so
Unique.
Yep.
Yeah, bro. It was
crazy.
It was crazy. Raleigh was crazy.
100%. So you got like, you know, my boy Frat was like, yo, my boy Smiles be down there with J5, and we're on MySpace. And J5 had just posted, yo, who has Dirty South beats? If you guys don't know what Dirty South beats are, trap beats. Like, that's what we called them back then. It was Dirty South beats. You had to sound like Jeezy or T.I. or have that type of like horns and stuff, right? And that was actually something I was becoming like, I love that sound. So I started producing a lot of that stuff. And Frat was like, yo, bro, he's looking for beats. So I sent him some beats. And J5 ended up getting on 2 of them, ended up sending me one of the songs, and was like, it was called Fuck You Too. I still have the song somewhere. And I remember that was my first time ever hearing, like, it was to me because Sal recorded it, okay? And Sal was recording and mixing. He did it at Red Brick. And like, I remember he sent me a video of him performing it, and it was my first time seeing somebody in a studio on my beat. And I was like, yo, this is on my beat, bro. And like, this is crazy. Like, and it sounded so clean and good because, you know, Sal's a beast. So I was like, man, like, especially back then, like, it sounded so good compared to even like the average home studio that you're hearing and stuff. So it was like, if you hear somebody say, oh, I rap and stuff, back then it was like, oh, okay, let me hear it. It might sound really bad. But Sal's was like, oh shit, this sounds like it belongs on the radio. And it was just crazy to hear that on my beat. And ever since then, I was like, bro, I love that feeling. It was just like, I didn't get paid from that or nothing. It was my first time ever just getting somebody else besides my friends on my beat. And I was like, wow. Then something crazy happened. About 3 weeks later, I was in school. I was in high school my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a text from this guy. He's like, yo, bro, I found your number on MySpace. I want to buy some beats from you. And I'm like, buy beats from me? What the fuck you mean buy beats from me? I don't know what the fuck you mean buy beats. So I'm like, yo, I text CJ. I'm like, yo, this dude wants to buy beats from you. What the fuck do I do? He's like, sell him some beats. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, how much do you think I should sell for? He's like, I don't know, like $50 each. I'm like, you're right. So I was like, yo, how many beats do you want? He's like, I want 13.
Damn.
I was like, wait, what the fuck? So I'm like, yo, you from Cuse? He's like, yeah, I live in East Syracuse. I forget the guy's name. He ended up getting locked up. But he came over to my house that day after school. I told my mom, like, yo, I got some guy coming over to buy some beats. Like, please just be cool with it. Like, I promise you, I will show you how much money I make from this.
Mm-hmm.
He paid me $800 for his 13 or 16 beats.
Really?
Yeah, I was upstairs with him showing him beats for like, in my room. I was literally in my home studio just showing him beats for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Burnt him on a CD, walked down. He walks out. I turned around, looked at my mom, and I pulled out the wad of cash, and she was like, you just made that in 15 minutes? And I was like, yeah, it's $800.
That's crazy.
And I went and bought a laptop because my computer was starting to kind of get outdated. Mm-hmm. I went and bought a laptop because I needed a better, thing to work on. I went and bought new headphones. I went and bought a new mic stand. I invested in myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't spend $1 to like have fun, really. I just really spent all that money. The laptop alone was $600. So I went and blew 70% of that on just one piece of gear that I was upgrading my studio with. Then I moved to, I graduated from high school. I moved to Ohio the day after I graduated. I was so sick of Syracuse.
Really?
I want to get out of here.
See, I never even knew
so
that.
I moved out of Syracuse. I went to Dayton, Ohio. Okay. I was living with my sister there. I was trying to go to this college there for music production called St. Clair Community College. My financial aid shit didn't get sent in on time. So they were like, yo, you can't go now. I went to orientation, got all my registration, all that shit. I did everything. I had my books almost ready. I was getting ready to buy books. Yeah. And my sister was like, wait, just wait until they give you your class schedule and all that stuff. And I was like, all right. And they sent me a letter saying, oh, sorry, your financial aid didn't go through on time, so therefore we can't accept you for this semester. Mm-hmm. But there I was working with Ohio artists. I was recording people in my bedroom at my sister's house. Like there's this crazy story. I don't even want to tell the whole story, but this is why I stopped doing home studios for a while, though, was because of this. Like, there was this dude that I was recording there, and at first he was cool. He would bring over weed. He'd pay full price for everything. He'd bring over weed to smoke with us and everything, and my brother-in-law knew him. His friends knew him. And then we had done like a month, 2 months worth of sessions, bro, just working all the time. Mm-hmm. And then one day, he had crashed at the house on the couch before, and like, because we do like late night sessions. My sister worked overnight at the hospital, so we were just doing overnight sessions pretty much, and we're just having fun. And ended up, dude, like I woke up one day, my brother-in-law came and was like, yo, where the fuck is he? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, bro, he fucking robbed us. And I'm like, what the fuck? So we ended up finding out he took mad shit. Like he took the TV, Xbox, laptop. But here's the funny part. He didn't touch none of my shit. He just took things from downstairs, and then he ended up taking my sister's car.
He took the car?
Yeah, bro. So me and my brother went looking for him. Luckily, we ain't find him because my brother would have went crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
Cops found the car like a day later or whatever. But like, yeah, that was crazy. So I never ever in my life wanted to do a session again with a person I didn't know in my home studio. So I was like, you know what? If I go back to Syracuse because like at that point I was like, man, I'm not going to college. This shit doesn't happen. Like Ohio sucked. I hated it there, and I was like, I don't want to be here. Like I had no friends. I had nothing to do, and I was like, I just want to go back to Syracuse. So I came back to Syracuse, and within like 2 weeks of me being back, J5 had hit me up. He was like, yo, bro, I'm opening a studio. We just took over Rollick. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we just took over Rollick. We're opening up our own studio. Do you want to come work for me or for us? And I was like, hell yeah. Like, I'll take. He's like, you know how to use Pro Tools? And I was lying. I said, yeah, I know how to use Pro Tools.
My man was lying on that resume.
Bro, that man said, all right, bet. I'll come pick you up tomorrow. Now, mind you, I'm only 17 at this time. I had just graduated high school. I'm about to turn 18 because my birthday's in October. So I'm like, yo, I need to figure out Pro Tools by tomorrow, but I don't have Pro Tools. Mm-hmm. So I find a cracked version of Pro Tools. I download it. And I find out back then you have to have two versions. You have to have either M Audio version. Mm-hmm. Mind you, what I said earlier, I bought an M Audio Fast Track, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I have to find the M Audio version of Pro Tools. I can't use a regular version of Pro Tools. I downloaded the regular version. It wouldn't load up. Mm-hmm. So then I had to download the M Audio version. Got that downloaded. Shout out to fucking pirating shit back then.
That's right.
So I got that. That shit was horrible. That shit was horrible. Hey, it helped me learn. But so I ended up getting that downloaded, installed it, right? Took like an hour to do. So I'm like getting everything set up. I literally just opened Pro Tools. I get like a track made and I'm trying to learn how to record. I don't rap or anything. So I'm just kind of talking to the mic, trying to get used to things. All of a sudden my phone rings. There's J5 again. Oh, yo, what's good, bro? He's like, yo, actually, you want to come through the studio tonight? I'm like, you know, young, ambitious me.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Why not? All right, bet. I have my brother come pick you up in a minute. All right. 15 minutes later, I don't live far from the north side. So his brother comes and gets me. Shout out to Big A. So A comes and gets me. I get in the car. He's talking, he's like, yeah, man, how long you been an engineer? I'm like, hey, no, I've just been doing it like a year or so, 2 years. And he's like, oh, that's cool. You know how to use all the gear we got? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I do. Bro, I walk into the studio. We get there. It's nighttime. We walk in. And I remember it like it was yesterday. It was so funny. I walked in the back. I'm looking like, because you know how Rollick was. So, well, GMP, Rollick, whichever one you want to call it. So when you walked in, it was like this open window office thing. Then there was a room to your left, the booth up a little bit more. Then you walk straight back, and that goes to the engineer room. Yeah. So I'm walking back, and Five's showing me each room. And he's like, yeah, we got my boy in here already, just doing some work. He's about to leave, though. And it was him and Cream recording. It was, I think it was CK. And CK was like, you know how to use everything here? And I was like, I think so. I was like, I'm good, but what's that? They had an Avalon, bro. And I was like, I'd never seen an Avalon in my life. So if you don't know what an Avalon is, it's a compressor, equalizer, preamp, all in one. It's a hardware piece of gear. I had never used that. I'd always just plug the mic into the interface. Yeah. And then into Pro Tools or in whatever program I was using. So I'm like, he's like, bro, don't even worry about it. It's already set. You're good to go. I'm like, all right, cool. So that night, Five got on my ass, bro. He was like, yo, pause. He was like, yo, we're trying to record this hook. And he wanted me to fly the hook over and move the hook. And I'm trying to for like 10 minutes. And he's like, yo, you don't know how to fly a hook, do you? I'm like, nah, bro. He's like, all right, come on. I'm going to show you what to do. So he showed me the longest way possible. Now that I know what I'm doing, he showed me the absolute longest way possible. This man would make me duplicate the beat. Then I would cut the beat where the hook started. And I would match that up with where like the beat looks like it starts the same waveform. Or I would end up where the verse is ending, and I would move that to there, and then I'd have to delete the beat, and it was just crazy. It was a crazy process. Now I just do it in 2 clicks, and it's done. But so that was like the start of it, bro. That was my first night, and so like I was like, damn, they're not gonna want me back. Next day he calls me, you come to the studio, I'm gonna come pick you up. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. So go to the studio, and from there on out, bro, I'm not even kidding you. Before I met you, I was sleeping in that studio 5 nights a week.
Really?
Yes. You can ask anybody, Five Cream. I was sleeping in that studio for 5 nights a week for like 3-4 months. Wow. And my mom would call me. This is one thing I missed the most. My mom would call me and be like, are you okay? Like, I haven't seen you in 5 days. And I'd be like, my bad, Mom. Like, I've been so crazy just having fun, but also learning. You know what I mean? It wasn't just a matter of like, and it was crazy because I wasn't getting paid. Right. I was doing hourly sessions here and there, like 2-3 hours and stuff. Like you guys would come in for like an hour or two, and I was getting $10 an hour off that. You feel me? So I was making $20 out of 2 hours, But back then, I just graduated high school, $10 an hour. That's good, Hell yeah. But for me, it was like that was the start of my journey, bro. And like for me, I didn't go to college because to me that was my college. Like my first 4 years, my first year by myself, working with my friends and stuff. Then my second year, I was working with J5 and stuff and working with people in the city. And the team, it was crazy because they pushed me. Like, bro, I had to get good. I had to get fast. And it wasn't like the fast that I am now, but it's faster than what I started at. And like I started to understand structure, how to organize songs, arrange songs better, and like how to layer vocals. Five was a tedious person to record, bro. He would do 3 layers, every single thing, verse and hook. He would do a lead, a left, and a right, and then an ad-lib. Then he'd do it for the verse. So you'd have 6 tracks alone just for the lead vocals, basically. Then you have some ad-libs. Yeah. And like he would have one, and it was because he always heard Jeezy, and he's like, yo, Jeezy's got that thick vocal. Like, I want it like that. So we used to do that a lot. And then just working with all different artists through there, bro, that shit really was a journey in itself in that studio. Then from there, we met. We went to the West Side. That studio got broken into, sadly.
Is that why you guys left?
Yeah, because it got broken into, and like they had taken our computer that we just got, and we're like, man, fuck all this. Like, we don't even want to go through that process again. Yeah. So they just shut it down. And I ended up working out of my home studio, which we worked out of a couple times. And then I got hired by S-Star at Forever Loyal. That's the one you couldn't remember. Okay. That was the one in North Syracuse that we went to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We drove by because I told you I'm actually out in North Syracuse. I drove by with my kids, and I'm like,
I know that spot, right?
I used to record there. Yeah, very short tenure, but yeah.
Oh yeah, it was super quick. Yeah. So that was a quick one, and then from there, I went to my home studio, which I had on the north side, on North Salina, when I got my first apartment.
That was the one upstairs from the yep.
And then from there, I met Taj because of Kaz.
Okay.
So when I met Taj came in my home and I was like, yo, I done heard so much stuff about this guy, good and bad. But I ignore bad because people always have their sides of stories. People are gonna say bad shit. But I'd met him and I knew he was connected with people outside of the town. And I was like, this might be a change of opportunities for me. So when I recorded Kaz and Taj was like, yo, bro, you're dope. Like, you make beats too? And I was like, yeah, because Kaz was recording on my beats. And he was like, shit, bro, what studio are you working on? I was like, this. And he was like, oh, no, we're going to get you a real spot. So literally like, I would say 3 months later, I ended up moving out of there and moving to East Syracuse where we had that studio that was like a part of my apartment. And like that one where me and him teamed up at, we had the Finally Focused Studios.
Oh, yo, I do remember that. Yeah, in East Syracuse. Yes. Yep, I remember it. Yep.
And then,
wow,
bro, this is a lot. Man, I've had a lot, bro.
I forgot about that.
And we're not even into Florida yet.
I know, that's crazy. Yeah, I forgot about that location.
So then from there, me and him, I'd been working with him for like 2 years. I had decided, it's time to really expand. I loved being his personal engineer. Worked with a lot of great people. I got to work with Jadakiss, French Montana, a bunch of the Coke Boys. I got to work with, what's his name from Gunplay from Maybach Music. I got to work with Glasses Malone and Mr. Fab from Cali and shit. So I got to experience a lot of different things. Got to go to New York City and get interviewed and stuff with Jack Thriller and get shout out by Jack Thriller and stuff. So there was a lot of different things at that time that I was doing with him that really was kind of like showing me the ropes of the business, how to network, how to build relationships with people, and how to like really get out there outside of Syracuse. And that's when I was like, man, like when I was younger, it's crazy because like when I was first starting, my first actual big production actually wasn't here in Syracuse. Actually, it was when I was 18. I produced for a Greek pop star, and her name is Marina Sazi. I didn't know she was a Greek pop star. She bought a beat off my website, and this is why I kind of don't like doing online beat sales, because you don't know who's buying your shit all the time, right? This girl bought my beat overnight. I woke up with $300 in my PayPal that I didn't have the day before, and I was like, the fuck? Somebody bought an exclusive off me. Like, that's crazy. So this is when I was 17.
Someone bought 18. An exclusive.
That is crazy. In the middle of your sleep, and not even talking to me at all. She didn't say a word to me. She just clicked buy, and that was that. And I was like, who is this person? I seen it was like a Greek name, and I was like, what the hell? So I looked her up. Bro, she's been in Maxim. She's been in Playboy. She's been in Sports Illustrated. She is a supermodel and a pop star there. Now she does like fitness stuff. She's a fitness celebrity now. So she was signed to Universal Music Group Greece. Okay. That was my first big placement, was when I produced for her. I ended up doing 5 custom beats for her. I ended up producing 3 other songs for her that were beats that she liked, that weren't even styles that I would think she would like. They were really weird beats. They were super weird, especially for a pop singer to get on there, like super like heavy, like trap, like rap beats and stuff like that. It was really weird. So, and she was working with some like Greek rapper. So I got to hear a whole different style of music on my beats, which was really cool. But then when I started working with Taj, I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm learning how to network outside of, just Syracuse in general, of being actually physically doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from there, bro, it was like, I feel like I had taken time off, and then because I didn't have any studios that were like I've seen available at all. And then Panic Boy P hit me and was like, yo, bro, come down to North Salina right now. I was like, why? He was like, come down to North Salina. So I got down to North Salina. He sent me the address, and it was Infinite Clip Studios when they weren't even open yet. And I walked in, and he was in the back talking with Bill. Shout out to Bill. That's my big bro. And he's like, yo, bro, you know how to work this board, right? They had the Pro Control from Subcat. And I luckily thank you God to my Aunt Denise. She's not really my aunt, but she's like my aunt, so that's why I always call her my aunt. But my Aunt Denise was a part of this band called Master Thieves back in the day. And they were recording at Subcat, their album. So she offered for me to come sit in on their album recording when I fresh got back from Ohio. So I went in and I sat with them. Well, in high school, I did a final paper my senior year on my dream job, and it was music production, audio engineering. And I wrote a whole paper. I had to interview somebody that does our job, like does that job. So I found Subcat in the paper or in the online, and I interviewed Jeremy Johnston, who used to own or be co-owner of Subcat. And he was an engineer there. He'd worked with a lot of different people around the world, and he worked with Colby Adonis and stuff like that, like crazy stuff. So He had I interviewed him on the phone for like an hour for the class project. Well, it ends up my aunt's recording with him years later.
Wow.
So I go and I'm like, hey man, I remember you. Like, I'm Nate Hill, and I'm like, blah blah blah. He's like, oh, I remember talking to you. I'm like, yeah. He's like, and my aunt was like, hey, do you mind if he like sits in on any more of your sessions? So like for the next like couple months, I got to go in on some sessions and sit with him and learn some stuff. So I was observing him, but like he showed me how to use the board. He showed me how to do this certain thing, which was Vegas mode. And so when I went in there, they're like, you know how to use this? I'm like, yeah, look, bloop, 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 Vegas mode. All how the lights and stuff used to move? Yep. So I put it in that mode. And Bill was like, how the fuck you do that? We've been trying to figure that out for hours. And I'm like, bro, I know how to use the board. I know how to actually do everything, like a lot of things on this. I can link the plugins. I can do a lot of stuff. He's like, really? So then we went in the back, we talked, and I pretty much got hired. That's crazy. That was when my name in Syracuse expanded a lot more. Like I was working with like probably 20, 30 people out of Taj's place. When I went to Infinite, I'm talking over 125 artists.
No, Infinite to me, I felt like it was like the Motown of like Syracuse, bro. Like it was, everybody went there, man. Everybody. And it was at a time that like everybody was, you had the older generation, the younger generation, everybody was making music.
We had the culture actually locked in there. Like that was the one thing I would say. We actually had a community and a culture that was locked in there. Like we weren't like restrictive. We weren't restricting genres, but we attracted certain genres. And it was like, we didn't dismiss any type of creatives, but at the same time, our city has a lot of rap, R&B, and urban style music.
Yeah.
And we were the ones that were getting all of that, and for me, it was like a lot of artists that came out of woodworks. I was like, damn, this dude's fire. Like I never even heard of him before,
Yeah.
And like, those were the times where I was like, man, we got a lot of talent here, but like, it's not anything like the major cities that when I was first traveling, like I would see certain little things, but like, especially after moving away now, I see a lot of different things. But back then, I will agree, like, bro, we had so much going on. We're doing little open mic events. We're doing interviews. We're doing music videos out of there left and right. There's so many music videos that have Infinite Clip in it, like, and there's a lot of artists that literally recorded their songs and projects out of there. And a lot of people, like, think about this. One of the number one songs that everybody knows from Syracuse, there was a big remix. Chris B. Bad News, Finito remix. Everybody knows that song. I know people that were rapping that more than the actual song here in Syracuse. I recorded that.
That's crazy.
You feel me? Like, I recorded that song. Panic in the Sky. I recorded that. Side, I can't say the word. You can say it. But I did
Black
that
History Month, Dino.
Yeah, I can't say that. But, you know what I'm saying? Side Ninja. But, yeah. So, that's just, I did a lot of those. I did a lot of those songs, bro. Man You Want by Panic Boys. I did the DME Kings and Queens of My City album. Remember doing that double disc with JD?
Yeah.
Bro, that was crazy. We had every artist.
That was crazy.
Think about it. We had every artist. JD was really doing something crazy with that. Like, we had every artist, but like, being that we lost, when Infinite shut down, I moved everybody to Subcat. I literally brought everybody I know. Guys, don't worry about it. We got you. I got you. We're going to go to this studio.
I didn't even know Subcat was a thing. Like I said, I followed you everywhere.
I had people literally telling me, bro, I've driven by this 1,000 times in my life. I've never knew this was a studio. I was like, that's crazy. But the thing is I didn't know it until my aunt brought me there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Subcat wasn't that studio there all the time. It was a church before there. And then.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Subcat was out in Skinny Atlas. It was, backtrack. When I was 9 years old, I recorded a drum circle with my church. Like I said, I've been drumming since I was 6.
Yeah.
So I played the djembe, and we did a drum circle. You can actually look it up on online still. University Christian Fellowship drum circle. Look it up. I played in that, and we recorded it in a room. It was a downstairs basement studio. It was Subcat Studios. It was there was I think it was a dentist office upstairs. And you go downstairs into this, like, it was like a long building, and that whole length, like, you walk in, it was like a open room where they did like different instruments in there. Then you go over and there's like a control room. Then you go back more and there's like a whole live section where you could do like a whole band. And they had like a little booth and stuff like that. So my church did our CD there, And because we did the CD there, I met Ron when I was a kid. Like I met Ron way before anybody. But we, I didn't stay connected to them or anything, but it's just so funny how full circle I end up at Subcat, end up becoming the most booked engineer out of Subcat. It's a freelance engineer. I remember my first week there, JD booked 40 hours with me with LAC. And Jeremy came up to me. He's like, did you just put 40 hours on the schedule? I'm like, yeah. He's like, bro, no freelance engineers ever put 40 hours on the schedule, and you are killing it right now. Like it was like I think it was my second week there, but like from there on out, I had 30 to 40 hours for the first 3 months, like that easily booked, and it was always adding more because people would come in. Yo, bro, I need 2 hours. You know, yo, bro, can we do an extra hour or two? So that would always extend. But like by the time I left there, bro, 4 years later, 2016 to 2020, I was doing 55 to 60 hours a week.
That's crazy.
And then that was recording, and then I would go home and mix because I had my home studio set up finally, and I would do mixing at home too. And so like I was literally like, you can ask her, I was constantly working, bro. 99% of my time was working. If I was sitting up watching something, it was 3 a.m, and I was sitting up, finally able to sit down and watch something for an hour. Go to bed at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 11 or 10, and go back to work. Like I had sessions almost every day at noon.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it was like, for me, that was like, I brought everybody there, showed everybody, look, you can have the low quality, like not the low quality, but the low cost studio down in Studio C, or you can have the $1 million studios up in A and B. Which one do you want? You know, you had that full capability, and you heard everybody's sound get better.
Yeah, it changed the game.
You've seen everybody start to take things more serious. I started getting artists to actually buy track outs for their beats and actually invest into other things outside of.
I didn't even know what a track out was before. Yep.
And that was the crazy part. You worked with Unique, and that's the thing that kills me is like producers. If y'all are working with an artist, even if you're recording that artist, get the fucking track outs in your session. I don't care if you record them on the wave. Get your track outs in the session so that way you can mix it better, because your mix to your beat is not the same mix that you're going to have to the vocals and the beat together. So I'm telling y'all, man, save yourselves and help your clients and your artists by giving them the best result possible and the best options possible. Track outs are the number one way. If you're a serious artist, get your track outs. You can edit your whole song. You can customize. Like, think about this. If you have just a wave, or you know how we used to get it, and you wanted me to take out a certain instrument, what would I say to you? Can't do it, right? Yeah. But now when with the track outs, you're like, yo, bro, can you take this out here, right here, just this one spot right here, just this one instrument? Okay, boom, that instrument gone. Yep. Everything else is still there. Yep. Hey, bro, can we move this one section and make this section a whole different area? Yeah, we can, because we have the track outs. And you learned that. You know it, bro. I told you, even just now, like when you were helping me with the cameras and what I tell you, bro, I'm a sponge, man. 100%,
like,
bro.
Ain't no shame in my game, bro.
That's a fact, bro.
Ain't no shame in my game.
I think that's why, honestly, to talk about this real quick, I think that's why me and you worked so well when we were younger. Like me and you, you know, we've been bros since literally almost teen years. Yeah. Like when you fresh moved here. Like
right. Not almost 10 years. Facts, 10 years. Yeah, that's a fact.
I recorded one of his first songs called Groupie. Rest in peace, DAC, man.
Rest in peace, DA. Man,
that bro. This kid goes back to literally my first studio I worked at. That's why this is really special to me to talk to him about this stuff. But you know, being that we had the foundation that we did, you know, a lot of these kids now here don't have that. You know, they don't have that people like we had J5 pushing. He was the OG to us. You feel me? Like we were the young kids, they were the OGs in a way. Even though they weren't much older than us. Right. You know, they're maybe 5-10 years older than us, but they're still like OGs to us. Because like, damn, they're actually doing it. J5 was the first person I knew that went on tour with Shorty Low and Plies, you know? And like he has the same crazy story. He has the same beat as 50 Cent, I Get Money. He had the beat first. Wow. I'll put that on wax right here. He had the beat first. Had a music video and everything. The I Get Money. I get, bro. 5 had the beat from the producer. They gave it to him directly. He was like, here, bro. Then the producer ended up, I think, 5, comment below if this is wrong, but I believe the producer ended up giving the beat to 50 just out of excitement. Yeah. And forgot that he gave it to 5. And it ended up, 5 song was already out with a YouTube video at the time. Wow. So it's like 5 was one of the first people doing YouTube videos, and he was one of the first people I ever seen on iTunes.
Yeah, he was the first person I seen with that Hummer. Remember the Hummer?
Oh, yeah, bro. The Hummer? The big ass Hummer, bro?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, he was that guy. Still is, though. But yeah, definitely.
But, you know, like, that was the thing is, like, we had a good foundation. Like, the whole history of, like, what even just, like, the whole city has gone through in the past, you know, from 2020 or 2016 to 2020, it was a lot of stuff going on. We had the upstate heat stuff that was going on. We had the actual community.
Yeah.
We don't have monthly things going on anymore here. We don't have weekly things going on here anymore. We don't have opportunities like that. And if it is an opportunity, it's usually like, not to throw shade or anything, but it's for people to make money. It's not for actual people to expand and grow and get better from, or actually get opportunities from. And, you know, like, don't get me wrong, there's been a couple, like I heard EB got an opportunity to go with Benny and stuff and do a couple shows and stuff, which is dope.
Yeah,
I've
been seeing that online too.
You know, that's great. Dope. That's great. But we need more like that in Syracuse. And shout out to Veda Leaf. Veda Leaf is actually, it's funny, they're a weed dispensary, but they're doing a lot for the independent artists around here. So thank you guys.
You want to know something funny? Veda Leaf, I actually worked security at
Did
Veda
you really?
Leaf. Yeah, I didn't even know they were doing performances. So my boy that I used to work with at Loomis, he actually
I forgot you did that shit.
Yeah. So he had the security client contract with them. And he was like, yo, bro, you want to do some armed security there? I just got my license. Come find no. Because in Syracuse, bro, they only want, like, they want ex-cops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, y'all done did all this work. So I worked a couple days there at Veda. Yeah.
Did you do any of the ones with, like, the celebrity artists there? Was there, like, Bobby Shmurda?
No, bro. No, I didn't get the...
They've had Dave East, Bobby Shmurda, Benny the Butcher. They've had quite a few people there already. You feel me? And it's dope. Like, I think that's so dope because the city needs more of that. Because here's the thing. All right. And I'm going to jump into this because, you know, after Subcat, you know, just to keep going. My story's long as fuck, guys. Just to let you guys know. You can clip that part. My story's long as fuck. But because I've been grinding. I've been nonstop grinding. This has not been a paused moment in my life that I've sat back. Bro, I lost my mom in 2019 unexpectedly. My girlfriend lost her mom 5 weeks later to cancer.
Wow, rest in peace to both of them.
We got up and left Syracuse because that was our parents' dreams for us to get out of here and actually make something happen for ourselves. And so I said, fuck this. I'm getting out of here. Let's go down to Florida where it's nice. It's beautiful. It's going to be inspirational. I don't care if there's a music industry or film industry. Let's just get out of here and experience the world differently, right? I went down there. I ain't know one soul that made music down there. I knew of somebody because of Unique. I knew of H. Shout out to Unique for.
I heard of H. Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
H is one of the people that he has a name in Tampa for the music scene down there, and he does a lot of events and stuff. And at the time when Unique was down there, I knew of, he was an artist. Well, he stopped kind of doing music, but he still does events. And so when I got down there, I reached out to him, but I didn't really hear back from him or anything. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go and network with people, and now this is 2020. January of 2020, fresh down there, okay? My mom passed in October, her mom passed in December. Wow. Okay, October 28th, 2019, December 5th, 2019. Wow. Literally 5 weeks apart. And so when we decided to leave January 1st, not even 30 days after her mom passed, like, it was for me, it was like, bro, we need to be somewhere where we can grow. And for me, like, Tampa was like, it's a major city. So I was like, cool. I lived in Sarasota at the time, which is an hour away. But I was like, you know, I'm willing to make it work. I'm gonna drive there if I have to, you know, like whatever. Get an Uber if I gotta.
Yeah.
So I went down there and I'm bookmarking tons of local events. I'm talking that was the crazy part. I'm looking online on Facebook. I see this event, this outdoor event, indoor event. I'm like, bro, they got mad shit going on down here. This is dope. So I'm bookmarking it. 2 months in, COVID hits. We're locked down. I'm like, damn, all these events now canceled.
Yeah.
So I can't go network with artists. So I go back to my original ways of internet. I'm going to go on the internet, network with artists now through that. Started doing a couple live streams on Facebook and YouTube and stuff. Then I started doing YouTube a little bit more at the time during COVID. Started getting some clients through that. And then finally I started working out of this one studio, and I had already contacted this guy up there that owns a nice studio up there. I'm not going to say his name, but he owns a nice studio up there. And I figured, you know what? I have experience. I'm going to offer an intern. I'm going to say, bro, I'll even work as an intern for a few months just to prove my fucking worth. You feel me? To prove that I got the skills to work at your studio, because it was that nice of a studio. It was like a Subcat. They got the SSL boards and all that. So he was like, bro, I got 5 engineers in 3 rooms. I don't have room for another engineer. But I'll look for a studio if you want to, like, you know, work out of a studio up here in Tampa or run a studio. I might have some people for you. Like a week later, he calls me, tells me, hey, bro, I got the studio up here. They're about to open. They've never opened. They don't engineer or do anything in music. They want somebody that can run it and also engineer. So I was like, all right, bet, I'll do that. So I drove up there the next day, did an interview at this studio called YSC Studio Loft, and shout out to Twana Swag. Now, they had heard my shit, and they're sitting there like, bro, I was showing them your shit. It was so funny because I was showing them vacation. And they're like, this is a vibe right here. Well, he from here? I'm like, nah, this is a New York artist. They're like, damn, this shit would work down here. I was like, for real. Like, it's that island vibe. They're like, nah, we fuck with this. So then I showed them Warning, and I showed them Sigroy.
Okay.
And they're like, Sigroy, bro, you're fired, bro. You're hired. On the spot. Like, right there. You're good.
Yeah.
Here's the keys. You're the manager. Let's go. Let's talk business and everything. So, that was the cool part. It was like, damn, like that was kind of like eye-opening. Like, I just moved to another state, and people are already like, damn, this dude's good.
Yeah.
So, my first, I would say, month at that studio, I'd worked with, like, probably about 40, 50 artists. And I was like, damn, there's a lot here. Like, this isn't even a quarter of what, like, Tampa has. Because the thing about Tampa that a lot of people don't know is Tampa has 2 sections to it. It's not necessarily the same city, but it's sometimes treated as the same city. St. Pete and Tampa, they're right next to each other. So it's like, it's literally a 30-minute drive. It's not like how if we have to drive to Rochester, it's like over an hour to get there.
Yeah.
St. Pete to Tampa is literally 25, 30 minutes, sometimes a little bit more depending on traffic. But you just go over the bridge and you're there. So it feels like it's pretty much the same city because if you have a performance, it's like if somebody were to say to you, hey, bro, I got a performance in Binghamton or in Cortland, right? That feels like it's not even that far of a city. We still consider that like kind of like upstate New York area, right?
Yeah.
Now, Tampa, St. Pete area is like combined. Tampa, St. Pete. They always say Tampa, St. Pete in a lot of it, especially even in the news and shit. So with that, in Tampa, you got clubs, bars, strip clubs, actual venues. Then you got outside venues. You got Ybor City, which is its own strip of just bars and clubs where people can do performances and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong. Tampa people, I got love for them, but they don't see what they have all the time because a lot of them grew up with it. So it's like, it's in their face, but it's like, yo, bro, like, I'm so used to it by now that it's nothing to me, right? But for me going down there, I was like, bro, they got opportunities like crazy. They got this to go to. They got this to do, and that's what makes those cities a little bit more, I wouldn't say easier to make it out of, but it gives you a better opportunity because when you see their community, they actually have a community.
Right.
They have actual, like, culture. They have their own dance style. They have their own beat style. They have their own artists that created a name for that area, like Tampa Tony. He's another person I didn't even talk about earlier, but he's another person I had to put myself, like, learn about because when I got down there, I had to learn their culture. I was a New Yorker, born and raised. I knew about New York, upstate area, probably the down to like North Carolina, unless like I was talking about famous artists like, Jeezy and all the southern artists that are famous. I can name those guys. But like when they're talking about like, oh yeah, did you know this person? Like everyone's like, oh, you work with Tom G? I'm like, who's Tom G at first? And then finally I worked with Tom G. Finally I worked with I worked with so many different people there, bro. It's hard to name.
Yeah.
It is so hard to name. But that's the thing is like, not to go on a rant about it, but I feel like this city, we need a transformation because what we were doing back in 2016 at Infinite was creating a culture.
Right.
We were creating a spot where it was a hub where people, if you felt like you needed to get some creativity off your chest, you could come to that place and like people could just walk in the doors there. Like you didn't even have to book a session just to go there. Like you could literally just go vibe and chill there. You feel me? And like people respected it enough not to walk into the back when I'm in sessions. They just stayed in the front. Like there were so many times I'm in sessions and like I come up front and I'm like, damn, how many fucking people came in here while I was working? Like what the hell? I didn't hear none of you guys because it's soundproof back there. We had the fucking thick ass walls. Bill did a great job at that. But it was like you'd go up there and there'd be 15, 20 people up there smoking, listening to their music. Like we'd be all vibing with each other. And it would be all different sides of town too. That was the cool part. It was like we were really starting to create that. But then once that shut down and nobody else picked it back up.
Yeah.
And at first it was like I felt like Subcat didn't want to accept that type of fun type crowd. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that crowd of, I definitely don't mean like that, but like they don't want to have people just hanging around the studio. Like they literally, the studio was like, do work, leave. Like there was no just hanging around. Even when I was there, like I didn't go to the studio just to chill. Like I would just go to Infinite and just chill. I would go there and just kick it.
But hip hop got a bad rap anyway. So I think a lot of places, because even when it comes to like you said, all those performance opportunities, besides like Funk and Waffles
or Sharky's, that's what I was gonna say. We have 3 venues here. We have Sharky's, Funk and Waffles, and then if you're lucky, you can get Westcott Theater.
Right.
If you're lucky.
Right.
And if you tell them it's a straight hip hop event, no. Most of the time. I've seen them getting a little bit more lenient with hip hop. I don't know who runs it now. It might be a better person, but I know at least 5 to 6 years ago, before I left Syracuse, bro, it was like, unless you're a white rapper, you're not really getting in there. And I mean, like, headline wise, like, I know Chris Webby and Hobson and them, and like Hobson was, but he's not a street rapper. Yeah. But you get like any type of semi-street rapper, Westcott's like, no. And I get that because, like, yes, gun violence, yes, violence in general is a bad thing, but there's people that get shot at rock concerts. You know, fucking one of my favorite rock guitarists got shot at his own show on stage. He's white. He got shot by a white guy. It's not just the fucking rap community. It's just that people make it look like that, or they talk about it like that. Like, bro, Dimebag Darrell got shot on stage. Pop artists have gotten shot at signings. People are just crazy. You can't control that. But when it comes down to this type of city, because of how small it is and the hoods that we have and the beefs that they have, and, you know, growing up around that shit, I really understand it. Like, there were times like, bro, I couldn't have a session come in after another session because, like, so-and-so's leaving from this project, and this person's about to come in from this project. I can't have them cross paths, or else there might be a shooting. You feel me? And I get that businesses have to think about that, but at the same time, that's like, that is in a way ruining. And it's the community's fault and the business's fault. You know, the community's got to understand, we got to stop letting people ruin our shit. Like, we got to start holding people accountable for the shit that they do and start calling people out for the shit they do. But the problem is, the people in Syracuse, they allow more ignorance, and they laugh at ignorance and laugh at fucked up shit rather than be like, nah, we need to better this shit. And that was the thing. Like, bro, I was down in Florida, and I'm telling people, like, bro, I'm telling you right now, there was a few shootings, but everybody has guns down there. Yeah. Tell me why there was less shootings there than there was in Syracuse. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. It's a bigger city. More people have guns. And there's bigger hoods. Right. And they got more money. But yet people, there were shootings. Don't get me wrong. There was definitely shootings. There was definitely killing. But it wasn't like in Syracuse, where it's like every other day in the summer you're hearing of somebody getting shot, whether it's either they get killed or they just get shot. Either way, it's a shooting. Yeah. And that to me is like, our city, whenever I used to talk about Syracuse, bro, to people, like, oh, that one city where this happened, or that city where, or they bring up our sports team. They never once was like, oh, this music thing, until Scory. I'm down in Florida. Somebody comes in, yo, bro, you pull up this Scory type beat. Scory type beat? What the fuck? Yo, he's from my city. Like, that's crazy. Then this girl comes in with this dude, and she has a Scory shirt on. And I'm like, yo, that's fire. We're walking through the mall one day, seen another Scory shirt. I'm like, this is dope. He did a show in Tampa when we were down there too. But like, that's the thing, bro, is like, people don't realize that people actually fuck with people from out of our city, but they're not in our city just focused on our city. Right. You feel me? Like, people know who Aaron Stove God Cooks is. Stove God Cooks, yeah. They know who he is. Like, bro, that's, but the thing is, he's not in the city and doing things for the city all the time, so people don't support him as much here, which makes no sense to me. Yeah. It's like, bro, how are we supposed to have we have 2-3 people, Andy Mineo, who's actually from here. He moved to New York City, became a Christian rapper, and not became, but was a Christian rapper, got signed, worked with tons of big people, right? Then we got, I don't even want to say people like Post Malone either. I'm not going to say Post Malone. Please don't say Post Malone, bro. That, that kills me. Andy Mineo and Stove God Cooks, all right? Now, here's the thing. Like, I remember when Stove God was still with LNL, I recorded him. A-Train. You feel me? Like, that was the days. Like, bro, this is the thing that people don't understand. There is so much fucking history, but people, in order to make it out of any city, and I'll tell you this right now, unless you're in a major city where people are constantly coming in, you have to get out of your city. Yeah. The reason why people can make it out of places like Tampa, Miami, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Nashville is because, one, they have communities there that are built around helping things grow, right? And it's not even necessarily about successful artists. It's about helping people or businesses grow. And as an artist, you're a business. So if you're a person that's not connected with your local community, like, I know artists in Tampa that are always invited to perform at local events that are thrown by, like, I'll say it, white companies. They're reggae artists, they're Afro artists, they're pop rap artists, They might not get the street artists.
Right.
Because you got to be careful about what you invite, you know. But at the end of the day, they're still getting those opportunities. So it depends on the type of artist you are, bro. Like I always told you this. You are a person who I feel like would get opportunities crazy because you don't make street music.
Yeah.
You make music that is commercial, connects with people, and doesn't need an age range or a certain lifestyle to understand. You know, when you give people a certain age range or a certain lifestyle that they need to understand or at least have an insight of, they're not going to enjoy the songs as much.
Yeah.
You know, like you're going to have way less people that can enjoy the songs because you have a limited, you're limiting who can actually like it.
Yeah. Which brought me to this point because I was thinking, I was actually having this conversation with Silver Globe. I said that like songs now, right, are coming back, right? Because like now everyone was like making songs around trends and it wasn't like music, like songs.
No.
You know, so songs are coming back now. Do you think though, like a rapper that's coming out in their 40s could have like an opportunity now?
It's crazy you asked that. So honestly, it's real crazy you asked that. My boy Dreadlock is in his 40s, all right? And my boy Dreadlock is fire. And I tell people this all the time. He's an artist that you look at him and you might judge him by how he looks because he's older. But then you listen to his music and you're like, oh man, he has some real shit to talk about. You got to understand, people that are 40, they're 35, 40, 45, they've lived through a lot. 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm not saying that you can't live through a lot by that age. So I know there's a lot of people that have gone through a lot by 19, 20 years old. Trust me, I get it. But your brain doesn't determine messages or lessons, and you don't put things together the way you would when you're 35, 40. You know, the way that I was thinking at 17, 18, 19 is not how I'm thinking today.
Yeah.
How I look at my wounds that maybe something hurt me back then at 17. I talked about bitter-wise at 19, right? I might have made an angry song about it at that point. No lesson learned, no nothing, no value to the listener, except for me just venting, I fucking hate this, right? 10 years later, I could write a song about that same thing, but express to you the lesson I've learned through it and give you, the listener, some type of value that also sticks with you as like, damn, that really hit me. You feel me? So I feel like older artists, they need to know their level of people they're going to reach. They're not going to reach the young people like that. They're not going to reach the 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds. They're not going to reach them. So it's about knowing your market. And that's really what today's music business is now. Because when we were growing up, they would find kids at talent shows and be like, hey, we're going to sign this kid and train them up and get them to be a pop star, to be a rap star, to be an R&B star, or whatever, right? That was artist development. We don't have that no more. So now kids are coming out with a song that they just came up with in their bedroom that was catchy, that TikTok loved, and now labels are like, hey, they're making a lot of money. We want in. So we're going to go ahead and sign this artist for this one song. And that's how a lot of artists are getting signed nowadays. They're not getting deals for a whole album or a project. They're getting one song deals. And if that song still does good, they might sign you for the next one if it's a good enough song. If not, you're going to have to shop around for more deals. That's how a lot of people get it. So that's one thing. And then so now, because we don't have that cultivating of artists, of like really training them up from greats. They're not being trained from the average person. They're being trained by greats. The people that have years and years and years of accolades that have earned them like by outstanding performances, outstanding writing, outstanding production, outstanding engineering, outstanding marketing. That is what they give them or used to give them. Now it's like, okay, you're an artist. I don't care what age you are. If you make a song that trends, that's making a lot of money, we want to sign you, right? But the only reason why they want to sign you is just because they want in on that money. Yeah. It's like a Shark Tank thing, right? That's how I look at it now. Like the music business is a new Shark Tank. You don't have to go to them and say, I'm talented, sign me. I can show you how I'm talented with this and talented with that. I'm a what are they called? A triple threat. I can act, sing, and dance. No, that doesn't matter no more. How many followers do you have?
Right.
No, I'm being dead ass serious. Like, look. And I'm going to tell you guys facts right now. When Sig Roy, this is one of the most successful artists that I worked with that are independent. And this is why I talk about him a lot, guys. First of all, we didn't focus on Syracuse music scene. We didn't focus on the crowd here. We didn't focus on people here loving him, even though he's from West Jenny. He went to West Genesee High School. He lived in Camillus. He went to Rochester for college, and he focused on, because his college has a lot of out-of-state people going there, he starts promoting to the college, doing college parties and stuff. Then they start tweeting it. Then they start doing, sending out. It's on SoundCloud. His first song hit 1 million fucking streams on SoundCloud within 3 months or 4 months. We were like, what the fuck? We put it on Spotify, hit 1 million within the first 6 months there. what the hell? But so with him, it's like he had a sound, a formula, and he wasn't focused on just this one city or whatever. Like he was going to focus on getting out of this bubble, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't even know who he is here. Like, because he didn't focus on the local list. He didn't focus on trying to impress just the people here. And so it's like, with him, if he would have got signed when we started hitting the millions, right? Because SoundCloud did offer him a deal. It was like some stupid deal. It was measly. Mm-hmm. If he would have taken that out of desperateness, right? Some artists would have. You offer artists like 20 bands, they might take it.
Yeah.
But he's seen, no, I don't want to sign yet. Then we started he talked to another label person, and the label person ended up telling him, we love your music. Your Spotify numbers are insane.
Yeah.
Your Spotify numbers are crazy. We got people they got 100,000 followers on Instagram and they don't even have the numbers that you have on Spotify, and they're not botted. They went and so they said, but we looked at your Instagram. We looked at your TikTok. We looked at your YouTube. You need to get this up to this in order for us to sign you. Why? Right. Why can't you help me get to there? If the music is already doing these numbers, he's just not a person who likes social media. He does not like posting on social media. So therefore, because he doesn't post, he's a ghost on there. But his music alone speaks for itself. We've been picked up on promoting sounds, bangers only. These are YouTube channels with over 1 million subscribers on them. We've been picked up. Usually you got to pay. Usually you got to pay a couple grand to get on these shits. We've been picked up. They're like, yo, this is fire. Pick it up. Okay, 5 times. 5 songs of his have been picked up by that. So it shows that is a consistent sound that is amazing, that makes sense, that people love, and we have millions of streams, okay? Now, when it comes down to other labels back in the day, they would have seen the talent and been like, signed.
Yep, immediately.
But see, now, and going back to the Shark Tank thing, like if you guys ever watch Shark Tank, you know, like they go up with an idea, right? So say you're trying to pitch, here's my new energy drink, right? Boom. And the first thing they ask you there, how many units have you sold? What are your sales like, right? That's not what record labels do. They're saying to you, how many sales can you guarantee us? Because we want to make sure if we're going to put money into this, it's no longer just a risk. It's a profit, guaranteed. Okay? Now, one of my favorite people I watched grow since 2020, Nick D. He is a person who I'm like, yo, if you're an independent artist, go look him up. NICD, okay? Also Connor Price. They work a lot together. But I'll tell you guys right now, Nick D, I found him because of his content and his songs were catchy and all that shit. But like Nick D, he had told his story on a podcast or an interview where he was like, yeah, I got picked up for this one song called Pineapple. And that was the song I actually pretty much like, yeah, I'm going to follow this guy. Because he used to come up in my algorithm, but I didn't follow him yet. And I'd like his videos. You know how when you like some of these videos, they come up more.
Yep.
So I seen his stuff every now and then. He was rapping out of a van. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, pretty dope music. Like it. I'll listen to it. But then he did Pineapple. And in Pineapple, he did this one thing where he was like, yo, don't you hate when people ask you how you like your water? And then he starts singing the song. But in the middle of the video, he's still singing. He picks up a ball, and you see there's a rim hanging behind him. He throws it, and he makes it. And you hear him react to it. He's singing and laughing at the same time, so you can tell he's actually performing it. I was like, yo, this dude is funny, entertaining. The video is dope. He's got crazy hand-eye coordination. Like, what the fuck? So I started, like, you know, I just followed him. This dude's dope. He's amusing.
Right.
Then I started seeing his shit, and I see, bro, he was at maybe, I think it was like 10,000 followers on TikTok. Within like not even a week, 100,000, 200. And I was like, bro, what the fuck? So I'm watching him grow. And he had, I don't remember exactly what his monthly listeners were at one point, but I know it wasn't more than like 100,000. Okay. Bro, within 2 months, he had 400,000, 500. Now he's got over 1 million monthly listeners.
Wow.
And he's all independent. But his worst song ever that did the worst was Pineapple after it got signed. When it went commercial, went on the radio, everybody hated it afterwards.
Wow.
But he's making millions of dollars monthly off of his streams because he's 100% independent. So like all those artists that, I don't want to be, streaming don't pay me shit. No, streaming don't pay the major shit because the majors have 6 people they got to pay before they get their pay. So therefore, if you don't understand that, you're not understanding why they're making very little money. But when it comes down to you're making the 0.004 cents or whatever the stream is going to pay you off of every stream, as long as if you have a deal with your producer. Now, if the producer wants their cut, you have to give them their cut of the percentage. But at the end of the day, you're either making 80 to 90% of your own money on every stream. That's not the labels. The labels aren't doing that. That's why those artists are like, I ain't making money unless I perform. Yes, because that's the typical artist format. Is you do performances, you get paid way more money. You get 100K for one performance. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's just like, that's really where the bread and butter was for artists for a long time. And album sales, of course, but even then, you ask a lot of artists, go look at the TLC album interview they did. They're like, we sold this many albums, we're diamond, and we're still broke. Why? Because their deal was not organized to make the money off of the album sales. The deal was made to, it was organized to make the money off of their performances. Mm-hmm. And then once labels said, oh, you can do merch, you can do movies, we're also going to buy into that because you're going to sign a 360 deal, which means if we sign you, you go and make a clothing company, we have parts in that. You go and do a movie, we have parts in that. You go and do a brand deal, we have parts in that. So you get offered a $250,000 brand deal from McDonald's. They're taking 80% of that, 70% of that. That's a part of your deal. But because they're thinking without the label, you wouldn't have the McDonald's option or opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to be able to leverage, okay, well, if I come in empty-handed, like with Shark Tank, I have no sales, but my product is groundbreaking. Yeah, they're going to offer you something, but they're going to offer you something crazy. Hey, we're going to take 90% of the revenue. We're going to invest $5 million, but we're going to take 90% of the revenue for the first 5 years. And then after that, it's 50% in perpetuity.
Yep. That's crazy. And speaking of sponsored deals, real quick, I do have a little drink
do?
for you. Yeah.
Hey.
So this actually is Aspire Healthy Energy. It's an energy drink. Has 80 milligrams of natural caffeine. But that's literally less than a cup of coffee, man. I know you be busy. I'm about to try this right now. I'm thirsty.
Mango
man.
lemonade too? Damn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest too, guys. Let me see if it's a 10.
It's not bad.
I usually don't like sparkly things, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. That is good.
Yeah, it's not.
And
it's
got
not
zero
bad.
sugar. That tastes like it got sugar.
Right, yo, it's really not that bad. I'm like, yo,
I'm a person. Look, guys. Look, I'm gonna show you guys right now. This is all you're gonna see me drink. Really, if you ever see me out with a drink in my hand, you're gonna see this in my hand. I don't drink alcohol. I drink water, but I don't drink it like all the time. I drink this all the time, sweet tea. So I love sweet things, but I can't ever drink like no sugar stuff. But man, this is actually good.
Yeah. And if you guys want to try it at home, just either Google Aspire Healthy Energy or I have a link below and just use code CONNECT and you get 20% off. So,
hey,
but yeah, definitely had to do the drop in real quick.
Shout out to Aspire, man, for real. That's
shout out
good.
Aspire.
I'm not lying. I don't like sparkly stuff usually, but that is good. Yeah. So, yeah, man, I know I've talked a lot. I've told a lot of my story, bro. The past story before I moved to Florida and everything. And it's like me moving out, bro, to tell you guys this, like, it was an eye opener for like what really we're behind on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always felt like Syracuse was kind of behind with things. Mm-hmm. And this is no disrespect to the city. This is saying because I want to better this. I want to help fix this or find solutions for this, right? You go to other cities, and I'm not even talking music cities. Like, I'm talking cities that are just cities. I mean, I went to Austin, Dallas. I went to Tampa. I went to Jacksonville. I went to Valdosta, which is a small-ass town. I went to Atlanta. I went to Miami. I went to quite a few other cities. I can't remember all the names of the little cities that I went to. But when you go to these little places and you do performances, right, and you see the music communities, and you see how the DJs and these people in this area, they got people that actually, like, they have a team with them, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, this person is known for this, and it's like they help reach out to these people. They have a system, you know, like, oh, this artist is moving. Now, the cool thing about Tampa that I thought was really dope was, like, not only do they have a community that, like, knows each other, like, you got people that are known, you got people that are on the come up, and they're actually trying to help each other, but, like, they have events all the time. Events all the time. I'm talking, it could be a smoke shop opening up. It could be a car dealership opening up. You got an artist or somebody there that has a name in that city popping up to do something there, right? They show support constantly to each other. And I'm not saying the whole city supports each other either, because I know there's going to be some people from Tampa jumping in the comments like, nah, what you talking about? Tampa hates on each other. I know. Trust me, certain areas, it's just like here with certain things. They got sides that hate on each other, right? But that's any city. You're going to go to any city and deal with that. But at the end of the day, here, like I said, we don't even have a monthly event that happens that could be helpful or beneficial for artists to gain fans, new listeners, or a new network of people that they can work with. And then when people do network with each other, it's all false. It's yeah, bro, we're gonna work.
Yeah.
And shit don't happen at all.
Mm-hmm.
Or they do go and work with that person. They expect that person they're working with to invest everything into it. It's like, bro, if we're collaborating on something, right? I would see people coming, yo, bro, how much is a studio session? All right, bet. Bro, we're doing the song together. All right, I'm paying half right here. Bro, how much is mixing? Okay, I'm paying half. How much was the beat? Okay, I'm paying half. Oh, how much is the video? I'm paying half. How much is marketing? Oh, I'm paying half.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, yo, bro, I got us a performance this Friday. All right, bet. I got us next one. I got our next performance this Saturday. Okay, bet. So we got 2 back to back. That's how a team works.
Yep.
You feel me? And that to me is collaborating. That's actually working together. That's not just saying I want to work with this person because they have a name and it's starting to grow and I want to be a part of that name. That's coattailing. Okay? And to me, when I seen those, I'm like, damn, bro, this is dope as fuck to see. Like, it's inspiring to see, but it was also saddening. Because it's like, bro, my city don't have this. And it's not even the fact that we're not a major city. It's the fact that everybody is so
segregated,
yeah,
man.
it's like, bro, like they're just so self-focused to the point where it's like, it's kind of selfish. It's like, how can I gain for me? How can I gain for me? And then they want to talk about, we want to do things for the city.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing things for the city if you're just doing it for you. And so, like, shout out to the people that are, though. I'm going to say that. Shout out to the people that are doing things like DJ Mel. You know, you got L Does doing the pit and all that shit. You got different things that are kind of going, but people don't support it as much as they should.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be popular for them to support it. It's got to be popular already. It's like the labels. It's like the labels, man.
No, that's
you
a
gotta
fact.
be popular for me to support you, bro. Like, nah, man. Support your people, support your city, and also all the people that want to be leaders and creators in the city. We need you guys to step up and start coming up with things that can not only benefit the city by helping us get, you know, put on social media and oh shit, this happened in Syracuse, New York. This good thing happened in Syracuse, New York.
Yeah.
You feel me? This is what I was gonna say. Is Tampa has this thing called QC Media. All right. I thought QC Media was just like QC the label, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, what the fuck, QC Media? And I'm looking at it, and it's all Florida based. It's Florida based stories. It's talking about stories, celebrities, and different things that are going on. But then you keep going through it, and you're seeing Tampa, St. Pete. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? It's a Tampa based media company that does Instagram posts, and they got hundreds of thousands of people following them. And it's like, they're helping spread awareness. So when somebody puts out a freestyle, they'll take that freestyle, tag them, and be like, yo, this artist from Tampa just dropped this. Do you think it's hot or not? Now they have hundreds of thousands of people following them. So they get people from all over the place. They even have celebrities following them. So therefore, you get people checking things out like that. Then you got the DJs shouting out, yo, so this is a artist that, you know, I think is dope, or here's my top 5 artists that I discovered this month that are fire to me from this area, and they name them out and shit like that. Then, you know, the other thing is, like, you got people who are actually like DJ Swift. I got to work with DJ Swift. He's a multi-platinum producer who worked with fucking NBA Youngboy, Kodak Black, Rod Wave, and multiple other people. Then you got Mook got the keys. You got, I mean, these are all major people. You got who was the other dude that I was working with? Chriso, Young and Chriso. They are all Tampa-based people, but they're not like just searching for big artists to work with. They're working with the Tampa artists. They're working with the artists and creating sounds for them. And that's the thing, Syracuse, we don't have a sound. We try to keep up with New York City. And I'm going to say that. Y'all can hate me all you want, but y'all were not doing none of that getting sturdy before New York City. There was not no getting sturdy in Syracuse, New York before New York City. There was no music like Pop Smoke's music until Pop Smoke did it. There was no music like Chef G until Chef G did it. But you guys constantly think, let's just jump on the New York City wave. New York City don't even like Syracuse.
You know who was the closest, though, I think, to having that Syracuse sound?
Who?
Swirly and Felony Set.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's original sound.
Yeah, because they had the little dance.
Yes.
Like I remember when I came out here and I seen everybody doing a little dance.
Yes, bro, the fuck it up, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Fuck it up, yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, there is too much where, like, it got slept on. That's the problem, though. It was one side. Like, people loved it from one side.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, people from the west side and the east side, they loved it. You go to the south side, they might not really fuck with it, because guess what? The south side and the east side beefed.
Yeah.
So it's like, even especially at that time, that was like me being in middle school and high school. Like, it's like, bro, why are we letting these beefs stop the music from spreading around? If it's a song that could save the city, if it's a song that could put on the city, Syracuse is known. I want to let you guys know that. Just for the people that don't travel outside of Syracuse, New York, Syracuse is known. Okay, Syracuse University, Syracuse basketball. We also are known for a few other things that if you are in a certain region. But most people outside of Syracuse, they only know of us because of Carmelo Anthony. Mm-hmm. They know of us because of, and most of the time I tell them Scory's from here. They're like, oh, where did I even know that? So like, I don't know what that is, but either way, I don't know if he just needs to say Syracuse more, but either way, those are the main things. Like Syracuse University, you got Carmelo Anthony and Syracuse basketball.
And Tusi now. Tusi
too. Because people been, because Tusi's been in the news for that shit recently. Yep. So that's the other thing, Tusi. But so like, other than that, people wouldn't really be like, oh yeah, Syracuse, I know music-wise. They might know a couple actors that maybe came from Syracuse or stuff like that. But it's not like we need to be able to be like, yo, if you go down to Pennsylvania, like 2 states away should know about a Syracuse artist.
Right.
Because if I go 2 states away from Florida, I name a Florida artist that's not in the millions of followers, they're going to know him.
Yeah. And that's another reason for y'all to support the podcast too, because we're definitely creating that platform. Because I'm excited from that show that I seen you at that you pulled up. I pulled up and was talking to Taj and talking to Ivan and Cage and all of the OGs, and I'm like, yo, bro, I would love to put you on the platform because their stories, bro. Like I said, we know because we were outside during that time frame. But like you said, like a lot of the newer people probably don't know unless they know. So I'm like, it's a great opportunity to be able to put it to the forefront.
And especially with Taj, like his journey was crazy because like he's not from here necessarily, but like he came here and like brought Jewels to the city, brought, Dipset here and did different things and, created a branch off of Dipset, which was the Senate, and just different things like that. But all that kind of also got swept under a rug to a certain point where like a certain generation stopped knowing about it. And that's why I was saying about the history. And I know it's been a long chat, guys. I'm sorry to give you guys this long fucking history thing. And I know he hasn't even got to his notes yet. But, like I said, this chat is long overdue. Like I'm telling you guys right now, this is long overdue. I spent 5 years down in Tampa. So I learned a lot of different things. I worked with artists that were nationally known, regionally known, worldwide known. I worked with artists that are, popping in their area. I worked with artists that aren't popping and they're super talented, So like I've seen a lot of different things. I went and another really cool thing that I did, which really changed my outlook on things outside of South by Southwest. I'll get to that in a second. But I started going to like more music conferences and stuff. So we had this one, shout out to my boy Vince, youngest in the yacht club. We went to this one and I got to meet up with B.O.B's manager, TJ Chapman, TJ's DJ. And if anybody knows anything about TJ's DJ, that's what he's called, TJ DJs. So he started this thing, a coalition of DJs back in the day. He's part of the reason why T-Pain is who T-Pain is.
Really?
I'm Sprung was put out by promoters in Tampa. And this is the thing you guys gotta understand. This is where the DJs need to come in. This is where I'm not talking about just the music communities of rappers. I'm talking about the DJs. Like we have blends, cool. Y'all do blends, that's cool. But most of the time, people outside of the state don't want to listen to an artist that they don't know on a beat that they know. To be honest with you guys. That is unless you have it blended with a famous artist or somebody that's like, an already famous song that you have it blended in a certain way. They might be able to work with that. But DJs were going from city to city to city doing shows. And while they're in those shows, they were playing local artists that they had got from their town, right? Mm-hmm. When they played I'm Sprung, people were going crazy already in Tampa. Like Tampa was one of the first cities that was played in the world when it first came out, okay? And I learned about all this at this music conference, okay? So like, going to these things, one, shows me there's always a process to shit. Shit don't just magically pop up. You guys think it does. It just, no. You'd seen it pop up because you weren't paying attention to everything behind the scenes. But everything behind the scenes was still happening behind the scenes. And it was a lot of work. Second is it showed me that, like, everybody has a different path of success, right? You could be a person who makes video game music. You could be a person who makes fucking sync music for wrestling shows and stuff. Because there was a rapper there that literally makes music for TNA. Like wrestling and all that stuff. So he made one person's theme song, and every fucking wrestler was like, bro, I need one. Started paying him for the theme songs. So it's like, that showed me that like every artist doesn't have always the same mindset. I gotta win a Grammy. I gotta be a Billboard artist. I feel like every artist now wants to make money, make millions, of course, whatever. But if you can make $100,000 a year doing what you love by creating fun stuff that is just still creating music, then you've won. You are successful. I mean, not even just $100,000, but if you could pay your bills, if you could constantly pay your bills, consistently pay your bills without having any struggle just from your music, then you're successful. That's how I look at it.
You made it. Yeah, you're doing what you love to do.
Exactly. And that's like, if you want to get it to millions, then you got to learn how to structure it. You got to learn how to scale it. That's any business. Like if I were to open up a barbershop, right? How do you think Supercuts became Supercuts? It's the worst barbershop in the world. This is the funny part.
I ain't saying it.
No, it is. It is the worst barbershop in the world. They will hire anybody. But here's the thing. Supercuts became Supercuts because they started as one shop. Probably was a great shop, to be honest with you. Probably was a great shop. I don't know, but it probably was. They probably had some great barbers. They're like, you know what? Let's send these 2 barbers off to a new location and start building another 2 locations. Then they ended up doing out to another state, then out to another city, then to another city, then out to another state, then out to another state. Now it's national.
Yeah.
Same thing with gyms. Think about it. How did a gym like Crunch Fitness? You guys didn't have Crunch up here when I moved down to Florida. We had a bunch of Crunches down there. And I'm like, yo, I remember taking a picture of it because it made me think of the Syracuse Crunch.
Yeah.
So when I seen that, I was like, yo, that looks like Syracuse Crunch. But they started as a small business. My cousin worked for them as they were expanding. And she had to go train people in other states. And that was their first time opening up in other states. So it's like, to know that as any business, okay? As an artist, you're a business.
Yep.
So if like you're not focusing on how to expand yourself, you're not focusing on how to grow and scale your business, whether it's, okay, I got to build this fan base bigger. I got to get more shows. In order to grow a fan base bigger, I got to get more shows. I got to show myself more. I got to be out there more. I got to be shaking hands more. I got to be on the internet more. I got to be visible constantly, right? Because that's how people get to know you.
Yeah.
That's how people get to know a business. Anytime you drive down the street, you're seeing a billboard, you're on your phone, you're seeing ads, you're on the TV, you're seeing ads. They're keeping themselves in front of you. And the business logo is constantly being seen. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So when it comes down to artists, when you don't take that step and you're not trying to scale yourself and think of yourself as a business, you're going to constantly be working in a circle, doing the same shit over and over. And this goes to my quote that I'm going to say later, but I'm going to say it now. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, is the exact definition of insanity. You are literally insane, like literally insane if you do the same thing over and over, expecting different results. It's like, okay, let me go run outside with no shoes on in the middle of snow. But every time I go out there, I'm going to expect, this time it's not going to be cold. It's not going to be cold. Dummy, it's going to be cold every time. So you put some damn shoes on. Change your damn actions. You got to say it, bro.
Nah, facts,
because that shit be pissing me off. Like, bro, how many mixtapes are people going to make on industry beats? How many remixes y'all going to do?
Saying this one going to be it. this is it.
Bro, you know how many times I've gotten shooken in my chair? Dynasty, we're going with this one. This is it. I'm taking you when I make it. And that artist next month ain't doing nothing? Like, come on,
that
bro.
Motherfucker at Walmart.
Yeah, bro. Like, come on,
Can I see that receipt, please?
Yeah, come on. Like, come on. We gotta stop that shit. Stop doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Because if you want to scale yourself, you want to scale your business, you want to scale your fan base, you got to do things you've never done. You got to go out there and put your face out there and work hard. Work hard. Hard work is not easy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people want to take the easy way, like with anything, bro. Like anything
kills me.
You have to work hard. I tell my son that all the time. My son, he's 14 now.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say he's a teenager now.
And bro, he loves to like take the easy way out. And I'm like, yo, you're never going to be successful doing that.
It's
never.
because like, all right, so I think about when we were kids, right? Like we used to play video games, but we'd play with some cheats here and there, right? But most of the time, we'd be like, how are we going to get through this? If it was like a long video game like Final Fantasy or something, right? The only thing we could go do was go look through the walkthroughs, which is like literally it tells you every little detail about what you have to do. Nowadays, kids are like, what's the shortcut to this? What's the shortcut to this?
Yeah.
And it's funny because even with like my profession, right, is engineering, and I'm teaching engineer stuff. Like, yeah, but what's the shortcut to that? How do we do that quicker? How do we get to this like thing quicker? And how do I learn this quicker? Like, bro, learn it through the process of learning of every little step, not just the shortcut. Because if you only know the shortcut and something happens in between that shortcut and something fails, now you're not going to know how to recover. Yeah. Now you're not going to know how to fix things. And that's been like a big part of my life is like as an engineer, people think I'm just sitting on a program hitting record and stuff. My job is actually problem solving. It literally, that's more of my job than anything. If something happens electrically, program-wise, you as the artist in the studio, I have to figure out how to solve that problem within seconds or minutes without throwing a vibe off.
Yeah.
That is the major key of my job. So if you're in the booth and you can't hear something in your headphones, I have to figure out what's going on in your headphones in 30 seconds or less, or else that artist is going to be pissed, right? And the vibe is thrown off, the song is not going to sound the same anymore. Or I come in and my hard drive's not loading up, or my I have to figure that out before the session gets started, because if not, I'm going to look unprofessional. You feel me? I did a thing for HGTV where I did a voiceover with Robert Irvine Jr., who's a celebrity chef. He came in the studio and did a voiceover, and I recorded this with HGTV live with me. Okay, I Zoom called them, and I had this set up because I was streaming. So I was like, okay, I have a perfect opportunity to do this. So I had a camera in the booth. I had a camera on me. I had my mic. I had the artist mic. I had Zoom because there was a TV in the booth too. I had Zoom on the TV in the booth so he could see them. They could see him through the webcam. They could see me through the webcam. They could hear him in the booth. They could hear me on my mic, and they could hear the audio playing through Pro Tools. They literally said to me, this is one of the best setups we've ever had. And they're like, we will definitely be coming to you again. Because I knew, okay, I'm going to go above and beyond. And I'm also going to make sure that everything I'm doing is going to be of quality and of professionalism and all. Now that gave that studio, it wasn't necessarily me, it was the studio,
right,
gave them a better look, you know? And that's why I say, like, artists got to understand that there are processes. If I would have never taken the time to go and figure out how to set up my streaming setup, I wouldn't know how to set up that Zoom call so that I could do all that with them. And because I took the time and figured out through trial and error how to set up all my streaming stuff, it was like, okay, I know how to do this, do that. That's problem solving.
Yeah.
You know, and I was trying to solve those problems of, like, I don't want the person to not be able to see the actor in the studio and stuff like that. So,
and that's why I always tell people too, stay dangerous. You know what I mean? It's like, because
stay sharp.
Yeah, because when those opportunities, people are focused on the lack of opportunities, but not focused on being ready for that opportunity to you know what I mean, happen. Well, you got to be ready.
Facts. I've jumped up. We've been on a date. I've jumped up. Sorry, we got to leave. I got this artist coming in. I've had times where I'm laying down, about to go to sleep. Hey, bro, we got somebody big about to come through. You need to come to the studio. I had one time where an artist was supposed to do a feature with Sauce Walka. I went back to the studio, and they never came because they're at the strip club. So, like, sometimes you just got to be prepared. And if that still doesn't happen, at least you can say you were prepared. That's the number one thing, bro. Like, is like, that's why I feel like I've always been where I am, because when I first started out, bro, J5, shout out to my big bro. J5 pushed grind into my mind, bro. Grind was not a part of my mindset when I was younger. It was like, have fun, work, but have fun. And then I learned what grinding is. And I learned, like, bro, some days you might wear the same clothes 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
You might have to sleep only 3 hours. You might have to only eat once a day. Mm-hmm. You might have to, only talk to your friends once a week. And maybe not even go out once a month, because you have these goals that you're working towards and you're trying to make happen. And in order to make them big goals happen, it's not just a goal of, like, buying a car or saving money. It's like, I want to make my whole life, my family's life, my friend's life, all better by achieving my dream. And that's, like, what I've been working towards nonstop since I was 17. Because I came from the gutter. I came from the bottom, came from being poor on welfare, literally donated toys and stuff for Christmas from the Salvation Army and shit. Like, we had Thanksgivings where the Salvation Army had to donate food to us, bro. Like, we couldn't go buy our own Thanksgiving dinner. And, like, there was many years of that. Like, I wasn't one of those white boys that grew up privileged. I grew up poor as shit. So for me, it was like, when I was 17 and I seen, like, man, I'm in charge of my life. I need to do this, and I got this dream, and I got this fucking talent that God put in my heart and in my soul that I could do. I'm going to do it. And that's why I've been dedicated to this nonstop, bro.
What would the 17-year-old you say to the you now? Or vice versa. What would the you now say to the 17-year-old? Or, you know what I mean?
I think there'd be two things. Okay, so the 17-year-old would be like, damn, dude. Wow. We did that? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I would look at it like, wow, I really did some stuff already. And I got a lot more to go. But me saying to the younger me would say, don't focus on the money so much. Because, like, not saying that people taught me bad things or wrong things, but like the music business isn't 100% about getting paid every time you do something, you know. And there was times in my career when I was younger, I could have produced for bigger artists, and I was worried about getting paid like $100-$200, you know, because this is what I was making my money off of, and I didn't want to go get a regular job. And I would also tell myself that at 17 to 22, go get a regular job for the mornings, bro. Go make some money, save up some money, and don't just rely on this for the whole thing. But I feel like that's a double-edged sword for me, because there's also a side of me that says if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing, because I didn't give myself a plan B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I stopped having normal jobs at 18, 19 years old. You know, like, I literally, my last job was a pizza shop, and I was 19. I just started dating her. You know, and like, for me, it was like, that was the end of it. I moved out of my parents' house at 19, got my apartment, and bro, I'm chasing my dream. I don't have a parent to tell me get a job. That was the only reason why I had a little job on the side, because my parents were like, you need to have a job.
Yeah.
So that would be me. I would tell myself, bro, don't rush, and don't worry about the money so much.
Now, I do want to ask you, right? As I ask a bunch of guests that come here, but you definitely are a legendary, like, and I genuinely mean this, right? Like, I always joke with you sometimes and call you like the 40 of Syracuse, but really you're the dynasty of Syracuse, right? Like, nah, you are you know, and bro, like, you're literally behind some of the biggest songs, the biggest records, but just like bringing joy to so many people. You know, the fact that you put that time in to learn the craft and was able to make people hear a side of themselves that they never thought they could hear, you know, or sound like. But do you feel that you get the credit that you deserve?
I'm a humble person, so I'm going to say this. The only credit you get is the credit you work for. I don't eat what I don't kill, as some people would put it, right? So for me, it's like, do I feel like younger people or sometimes people don't recognize who I am? Yes, that happens to me all the time. I actually had it just happen on Facebook the other day, because my name isn't Dynasty on Facebook, it's Nathaniel. Mm-hmm. So people won't see Dynasty, they'll see that and they'll think I'm somebody else. And especially if they never met me in person. Like AZ, when he see me at the thing, he's like, damn, bro, you're taller than I thought you were. Like, he doesn't see me on Facebook and stuff. He's heard about me, but like, he didn't know me. So like, I feel like when people put the dots together, they realize, oh shit, damn, hold on, wait, what? Who's that? Damn, that's him? Oh, wow. But at the same time, no, I don't feel like I get the right respect to a certain point, because there's still a lot of people that have egos here for no reason. And I'll say that honestly. Like, there's people that have produced a song that has a feature on it. Like, I showed you, okay, I got Sauce Walka on a couple of my beats. Sauce Walka didn't hit me up for beats. I had an artist that I was working with get a Sauce Walka feature. Mm-hmm. That counts as Sauce Walka on my beats. I'm proud of it. But I'm not going to walk around telling you guys that I got a Sauce Walka placement, like some people would do with Jadakiss, or they do with any other artist that the town has gotten on songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, that's one thing. The other thing is like, a lot of these people have normal jobs and do this as a side gig or as a hustle. This shit's my passion. This shit, I would live. If I had $1 billion, bro, I tell people this every time. If I had $1 billion, I didn't need $1 in the world ever again. You would still find me sitting right here in a fucking studio. And you know what I would be doing? I'd actually be doing music I want to do then, because I'm not doing it for a living no more. I'm doing it because I have all this money I can use, and I'd be putting on artists.
Yeah.
And I'd be putting out artists and showing them to the world. And that's the thing, is like, most people, they want to use a career to become rich and get out of life, right? Me, this is my life. Like, literally, I have it tatted across my chest for a reason. Music is life. Because for me, it literally is life or death. I've been playing drums since I was 6, guitar since I was 12, started producing at 16, started engineering at 17. And it's like, that's all I know. You can't ask me about sports. You can't ask me about, I don't know shit about anything else besides music in life.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's like, for me, that's been my dedication, bro. And if you're dedicated like that towards something, you're gonna see success. You're gonna see it. It might not be when you want it to be. It might not be right away. I didn't think it would take me over 10 years to get a song that hit 1 million plays or whatever. Like, but hey, it happened. It took over 10 years, and then finally it hit 1 million. I'm at 20 million streams right now.
That's crazy.
Like, I have 20 million streams on songs that I've actually already registered in my catalog. There's other ones I forgot to register, so I might be a little bit more though. But overall, 20 million is what I'm at right now for my streams. And it's like, I'm not even where I want to be. I have friends that are in the billions. I have a friend that has 100 million streams on one song.
Wow.
And he's an engineer. So it's like, yeah, I still got steps. I got fucking plenty of steps to go. Yeah. But I'm way beyond where I was. And I can also speak on a lot of experiences where it's like, people here, like, to go back to your question, they don't show the respect because they don't see all the work that I do because I don't brag about it all the time. Yeah. I'm not a cocky dude. I'm not going to sit there and put the shit in your face for no reason. If you guys don't know what I'm doing, if you're not paying attention, that's fine. I don't care if you pay attention. I'm working with people that are paying attention. That's why I work with artists around the world.
Yeah, and it's how I know you my brother too, bro, because I got a tattoo as well. But mine's music is lift. I don't even know if it's... I don't know if it's...
Damn, he got the fucked up tat. Nah, bro.
Whoever was writing it in cursive, I don't even remember who did it at this point, bro. Whoever was writing it in cursive was trash, bro.
Oh, my God. Nah, my music is life is not that good, too. It's my friend Cisco. He just started doing tattoos, bro. And I was like, yo, you know what the crazy part is? I've been saying for years that I got to get it redone. But this was the worst spot. And I'm not no bitch. I can deal with pain. I have high pain tolerance. But bro, getting your chest and your collarbone tattooed is one of the worst spots. I literally had to smoke a blunt in between every word. And it was like music, I smoked a blunt. Then he did because it was right here on my like the sternum area. I smoked a blunt per letter. He did the I was like, hold on, bro. Rolled up a blunt and smoked. He did the S. I smoked another one. I said, all right, go to life. We did life. And I was like, that shit was horrible. How do people sit there for hours and do like a whole thing on their back or something? But I'll tell you, like, she's a beast. She's got crazy tattoos. She got one on her hip. I can't do it. She got one on her foot. I mean, me, if I do it anywhere, I'm going to do it like somewhere where it's kind of like easier, not so bony. Yeah. You know, I'm a bony ass person, but.
Yeah, Nikki got one on her foot. Man. Yeah. But
see,
the hand killed me, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what I always heard.
The hand killed me.
Hand, chest, and then the elbow or the knee. I've heard those.
Yeah, I heard
horrible.
The elbow's crazy.
And shins too. But so, here's the thing I've always heard though. Females like tattoos because they have a way higher tolerance for pain. Like for instance, of course they birth babies, right? So their pain tolerance naturally is a lot higher. But a lot of girls they will have girls sit through tattoos that other guys will tap out halfway through. Yeah. Like, they'll do like a 4-hour tattoo and the dude will be like, nah, 2 hours in. Where the girls will be like, oh, you're doing it? Like, bro, what? Y'all are crazy. Psychos.
Yeah. We don't like to give them the credit, but we know that they are definitely the better of the two, the females.
They're tough ones for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
But yeah, so I already told you, bro, though, like I'm gonna definitely need another podcast episode with you because I ain't about to be editing no 3 hour long.
Bro, just put it up.
But I do want to ask what's next for you, man?
So right now, I've been building a community. I've been building a huge music community that I shrunk down, but that's a whole long story. But right now, I'm building a music community for people around the world, okay? And it is called Autivate. So instead of telling you to just, elevate or create, and my thing was like, I want to take audio, elevate, and kind of combine them together. So like, we're trying to take people in the music industry and elevate their knowledge, elevate their skills. And it's like a mixture. It's innovation also. So like being innovative about how people are creating, innovative about how people are dropping. And I'm trying to get a lot more people a part of that community. So that's one of my big goals right now is to really build that community bigger, get professionals in many different fields, not just music, but in media. From marketing people that market media stuff, whether it's videos, songs, whatever. I want to get sync people in there. I want to get managers and stuff that they can all give game and just kind of give value to the artists that are a part of the community, along with the producers and engineers and stuff. The other thing I've been doing is live streaming. So I live stream a lot of my recording and mixing sessions. So you can see those on YouTube on Dynasty on the Mix. And honestly, right now, can't really speak on all of it, but I'm looking to move out of Syracuse very soon by about May. I do have an opportunity to go work out of a beautiful, amazing studio called All the Smoke Studios in Jersey City.
Wow. And
my mentor, who has an extensive list of major artists, but I'll just give you one song he mixed. I ain't worried about none. I ain't worried about none, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put that there. My mentor, Steve Dickey Rockstar. I call him Dicky. All right. That's just his nickname for me. I'm just kidding. No, we call him Rockstar. Steve Dickey Rockstar. That is my boy. He is a multi-platinum, Grammy award-winning engineer, and he offered me a position at his studio.
That's amazing.
And he was like, I'd love to have you on the team. So that's the next move I'm making, is going there and gonna be working with him and his team on projects and just building. Man, I'm constantly trying to add new building blocks to the name.
That's amazing.
Yeah, bro. It's just grind, bro. I mean, I literally, like I said, the network and opportunities come from the relationships, and like, I didn't know that at first. I was, you got to be great. You got to be good at what you're doing. You got to be fucking beast, right? And that's why I got so good technically. But then like my relationships lacked, and like I had to take a step back and go, oh, like this is what was bothering my business or bothering my growth and stunting my growth. Mm-hmm. And now I'm gonna focus on that more, because that is what I need to grow with. It's like when you're growing a plant, right? It's like if I'm giving it water but not enough light, and I see it's not growing, or it's grown a little bit but it's not growing as much as it should have, then okay, I'm not doing one of the two right. And so therefore you have to make that change, and you have to focus on that one that you were doing less of, right? Even though you're still doing the other one, you're still watering it. I still had to water my other plants in my life. But what I was trying to do really was build relationships. And through those relationships, I will say a lot more opportunities, a lot more knowledge, a lot more growth has happened. And it's like a whole like new breath of fresh air, bro. It's like, instead of dealing with and thinking about the problems I used to deal with, I now think of like opportunities, and I think of like, how can I be of service to the people that are helping me also, because that's the one thing is like, I don't go to people, hey, can I be a part of this? Hey, bro. No, how can I be of service?
Yeah.
How can I help you? And that's how I led it the whole way. Like I told him, yo, bro, if you need anything edited, I got you. He's like, I got assistants and stuff. And he knew my boy Matty Rich, who introduced us, but like, dude, I can call this guy anytime and be like, hey, I'm having problems with this mix. Or, hey, I'm having this, issue with my gear, or even business side stuff, can you guide me on this a little bit? I'm about to sign this contract for this. He helped me through that stuff. But through the years of talking to him, and then my studio flooded down in Florida. I don't know if I told you about that. I'll tell you about it later. But
yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think you told me.
Hurricane.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So I was at the show. I told you about that. So
you said you didn't lose none of your.
Luckily, no. I lost like furniture. I lost my guitar. I lost a few things, but I didn't lose like my computer or anything important. Mm-hmm. It was still like $1,200, $1,500 worth of stuff that I was like, damn. But it wasn't no like crazy loss. But for me, when I posted that, he sent me a message like, hey, bro, you got a spot on my team anytime. If you want to come back up north, I know it kind of sucks, but like if you want to move back up north, you got a spot on my team. And I was like, wow. And the cool part is they got a lot of acting things in New York and New Jersey. Yep. And she does acting. So that's for her. It's opportunities for her, opportunities for me, and that's all we need.
Yeah, no, that's dope. It's definitely more opportunities for an entertainer once you get to the tri-state area.
Yeah, bro. And I think also with New York City and New Jersey, it's like you get a bigger variety. Mm-hmm. Where like here in upstate New York, you get like a kind of like limited range of different artists, Yeah. Like down in Florida, it was cool because I was working with a lot of like Caribbean and different style. Like I was working Haitians, Jamaicans, whatever. Like I was doing so many different styles. I was doing Afrobeat. I was doing trap. I was doing some pop songs,
some reggaeton
stuff. And that was the cool part. Like, and it was crazy because honestly, down there, the Spanish people wouldn't book me as much because if I didn't speak Spanish, because there was so many engineers that could speak Spanish. Mm-hmm. So like, they'd rather go to them that could speak Spanish. But I had a couple that came to me like, bro, you for a person that doesn't speak Spanish, you do a really great job at like understanding what we want. Like, but I had Jamaicans come in and speaking patois to me and shit, and I was like, you guys know I understand part of like just a little bit of that very well because like. We had a good Jamaican community at Infinite Clip that would come in. We had like 3 or 4 Jamaican artists, and they'd always come in and speak patois in front of me. And I'm like, what do y'all say? How you like? I didn't understand it at first. Then when they started explaining things to me, but bro, when Jamaicans started talking fast around each other, I don't care if it's partial English because patois is partial English. I don't give a shit. That shit sounds like a whole different language than patois, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay, I can't understand that. You got to slow down, bro. They were dying laughing, but they be walking, Badman Dynasty. That's what they call me. They call me Badman Dynasty because I was like really good at what I was doing.
Yep.
But yeah, man, it's definitely that tri-state area, bro. You have a lot more variety. I that's what I'm looking for, is more variety and more just, opportunities in general, bro. You can't grow without opportunities.
Yeah, no, that's a fact, man. Well, definitely thank you again for, coming on, giving me an interview. You are that guy. Like I said, it's an honor to me, bro. Like,
bro, no, listen, I'm not gonna let him say that, because hold on, guys, hold on, let me pause this. I know you guys seen this behind him. I'm gonna point this out. So, I've only won one award in my whole career, and that award was with this guy. And this is not a Sammy for the People's Choice. This is a actual committee voted album of the year, hip hop recording of the year. Genetics and I won that. It may not be a Grammy, but it's a Sammy, and that's good for me. You feel me? So,
nah, that's a fact,
but
man.
for real, like, that's why I say, like, this is my brother. Like, and I don't say that lightly. I don't ever really just call people my brother unless I really mean it. But this is my brother, and I'm very happy for what you're doing, bro. Like, honestly, like, I was kind of sad that you got out of the music scene, and then I seen you doing this, and I was like, man, he's good at that. You're good at conversations. You're good at listening. You're also good at interviewing people. So that, I mean, to me, that's great. You're doing something that is beautiful, and you're helping the community. So before we even get off here, I want to say shout out to you, and shout out to anybody that ever takes the opportunity to get on here, because this man is really trying to help people. He doesn't charge for this. He takes his time out to do this. So if you get an opportunity to be on here, bring some good shit, and don't be on here talking no bullshit. Talking out your ass. You guys know who you are.
Nah, I appreciate you, bro. All right, thank you.
I love you, bro.
I love you too.
Got it.